are your starting lineups. For the visiting Rams, number 8 in defense, Isaac Fogg. Number 16 in defense, Sam Corrigan. Number 12 in forward, Tyler Randall. Number 15 in forward, Justin Veo. At defense, number 26, Brody Walling. And in goal, number 1, Caleb Morgan. For your Whitport Dragons, defense, number 3, Ethan Patterson. At defense, number 24, Ned Bowen. At forward, number 9, Cole Bowditch. At forward, number 19, Jameson Palmer. And at forward, number 23, Evan Dorsey. And in goal, number 1, Michael Shoemaker. The Rams are coached by Dan Foster, and Whitport is coached by Dennis Eggman. Just a reminder, the MPA has a zero-tolerance policy for abuse of officials of any kind. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps as we honor America with our national anthem.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the beautiful City J. Watson Arena at Bowdoin College for a huge matchup between the Cony Co-op Rams and the Brunswick Freeport Dragons. Kaz, right away, want to give a huge shout out to TJ Maines, the athletic director at Cony High School. 42 viewers at the start of the video is about double what we'd normally expect, so I believe he did send it to the Cony team parents. So we'd like to welcome all of our parents from Cony, Erskine Academy, Halldale, Marana, Cook, Monmouth, Spruce Mountain, and Winthrop. Welcome, guys.
Absolutely. We're so happy to have you guys here. Typically, as Robert was saying, at the beginning of a game, we may only have, 10, 15 viewers. We're hitting this is a high number right now. I think we've only ever beat this when we called the girls' state championship game last year. We ended up grossing 130-something viewers, but for a regular season game on a Monday night here, these are some high numbers. We're going to look to put forward the best broadcast we've got for you guys tonight.
Well, the fans of the Ram broadcast want to see their boys play. This is a fantastic Cony team. They are 5-1, sitting at number 1 in Class B North. Their one loss, I believe, is to Thornton Academy, and they did also beat Messalonsky, who I would consider the second best team in B North. So, opening puck drop will be won by Brunswick, and that puck, I believe it went out of play. I thought it hit the face mask of Avery Cook along the bench. It did. That's what he's signaling, but the officials don't stop the play. Ned Boak will collect in the defensive zone, Cats.
Sometimes you got to let that one go. His face acted almost as the boards there, and I think the officials saw that, and, just going to let it play out.
Patterson up ice will be caught by Palmer. Palmer across to Evan Dorsey. It kicked off the boards too quickly. Batted up the ice by Bowditch, and now collected here by Tyler Randall. Patterson will rocket it wide of the net to all of our Ram fans joining us, that man, number 3 in white, has a howitzer for a right arm. But here's a chance here for Cony the other way. It's deflected by Rathbone, delayed offside, and we will have a neutral zone faceoff.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a fast-paced game for sure to start. Patterson with a real laser early. So the problem with that for Patterson there is that, he shows off his weapon early, and now Cony knows, maybe don't let it fly.
A little bit of music playing during the play. They get that turned off. Levi Bobuff along the back wall. Here with Avery Sampson, he will be hit by Alex Leet. Knocked up the ice by Kittinger and knocked around. That will be a delayed offsides. The puck did exit the defensive zone. Here is Sampson. He will look up ice for Salko, and it does trickle through the neutral zone. Salko knocks it ahead to Rathbone, but taken back over by Cony here with LePage. Kyle LePage will look up the ice. It'll be caught by Leet. Leet makes the nice move and will carry through the neutral zone with Kittinger in front of him. Will rim it around the back wall, looking to start a forecheck for the Rams. Here is Rathbone chipping at it, and possession back to the Rams with Spencer Morgan. Morgan will knock it up. Centering pass deflected by Salko, and still alive. Here's Leet. He'll fire. Save made by Shoemaker, getting back to that left pipe. Bobuff will look to clear, but it's kept in the zone here by Murphy. Murphy, Leet across. It's deflected by Salko, and that'll end that possession for Cony, but they do collect in the defensive zone.
Yeah, that was a big save there for Shoemaker. He's been coming up big for the Dragons all season, and they're going to need a big performance out of him tonight. He's when he wants to be, he's one of the best keepers in high school hockey right now, and the Dragons definitely want that Shoemaker tonight.
LePage will collect for Cony. He will sky it up off the glass and out of play.
We've already got a couple youngsters looking to hawk down that puck. I remember being a young guy and just going to Bowen hockey games here and just being so excited for when a puck came flying over. Just trying to be the first one to go chase it down. It's one of the great things of this sport.
Face off won by Dorsey. Now here's Patterson. He's open from below the blue line. We do thank you to the 51 viewers watching us once again. Welcome to all of the fans of the Rams co-op. And here's with speed is Cooper Clark. Clark into the zone. He is guarded by Patterson. Clark's centering pass is wide. Cooper Clark is a very interesting player, Kaz. He is one of the very rare football hockey crossover guys. He plays receiver for Cony, or played, I guess, as a senior. I did play against him as a quarterback for Brunswick. Yeah, welcoming our Cony fans. I actually played quarterback for Brunswick this year. Fun fact for you.
I mean, Robert, you'd think you'd see more of that. I mean, football is a very physical sport, and obviously, men's hockey has that same aspect, as we see right there from Patterson with a big hit.
Yeah, Patterson lays out Chase Callahan, and another collision here as Houston and Callahan, the other Callahan, fall. Up ice will be caught by Callahan. Chase into the zone. We'll leave it off for Clark. Clark is hit, and here's a shot in the goal. Chase Callahan opens our scoring. It is 1-0 Cony.
That's an early strike from the Rams. Rams definitely been a dominant team this season, but there's not much to be done about that. It's a beautiful shot. Beat Shoemaker glove side. Dragons are going to need to really get some momentum going and build something here if they want to keep this a competitive match.
And the Dragons will send on their third line of forwards. This will be Vayu to take the face-off up against Tyler Landry of Brunswick. We do thank you for joining us here on Brunswick High Sports Network. I am Robert Bowen, along with Kosinski on the microphone. Brandon Ware is on the camera, and Asher Fouchée is running our Singer Domingo Portside Real Estate-sponsored scoreboard. Up ice here is Theo Lyons in the neutral zone, knocked back to Boba.
We do want to give an extra big shout out to the Singer Domingo's Portside Real Estate Group. They sponsor our scoreboard and some merch that we've recently picked up for BHSN. They've been very helpful to us this season.
In the zone now, winding up firing and deflected over the net. Puck along the back wall. Landry will knock it to himself. And he will be hit there on the play by Tyler Landry. Tyler Randall, that is. Tyler on Tyler violence there along the back wall. And that will be an ice, and Cony will get an offensive zone face-off. They will send out Spencer Morgan, as well as LePage and Alex Leeds. I would consider that to be their top line of forwards, Kaz. That is a scary group, 26 and 17 in red.
Yeah, Robert, I was going to say, no matter who Cony brings on here, they all seem to be quite strong. They seem to be a really deep team, and that's going to hurt Brunswick later on in this game. When Brunswick's top guys are getting tired out, Cony can dig into that bench and still have elite players on the ice.
This will be back-to-back icings for Brunswick. I will say the speed of the Rams is really fast. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think terrifying is the word I'd use, honestly. Brunswick has a couple fast guys, Ethan Patterson among them. But honestly, keeping up with some of these Cony guys is going to be a battle for everybody.
Face-off here between Leet and Dorsey will be won back to Boak. Up ice, fires wide of the net is LePage. Patterson will try to clear it. It gets deflected through the neutral zone. Dorsey's racing after it with Godbout. Puck recovered again to Murphy. Murphy makes the move on Palmer. Off the boards will be collected here by Ned Boak for the Dragons. He tries to give it to Patterson, and Boak will fall down. Bowditch in the neutral zone. Boak fighting for it, and he does collect here for Brunswick Freeport. Two co-op teams going at it here today. Cony has 7 players from our state's capital, as well as 6 from Monmouth, and a bunch from those other schools: Monmouth, Spruce Mountain, Halldale, Maranacook, and Winthrop. Here's Patterson will turn it over, and look up the ice, and Dorsey's open. A chance for Brunswick Freeport. Dorsey in the zone, breakaway, fires, and scores! Evan Dorsey ties it at 1 off the beautiful pass from Ethan Patterson.
That's exactly what the Dragons needed, Robert. They needed that goal. They knew this Cony team was going to be strong, deep, and powerful. But they need momentum early, and that's a great way to take it. An equalizer with 9 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first period. We are in for some action tonight, folks.
Our huge army of Cony fans watching this game did just learn that we are rooting for Brunswick in this game. Very, very sorry, guys, about that. Into the zone there. Here's Cooper Clark with space. He'll fire, trying to answer, but it's blocked by Jonah Kittinger. Clark will collect along the back wall. Kittinger. And here's a hit by Clark, bringing that football physicality to the hockey rink.
Yeah, I mean, the physicality is going to be big in this game because I think skill-wise, Cony probably has Brunswick beat, but from a physical standpoint, it can be anybody's game on any given day. It just who wants it more is what it comes down to.
That's a great point, Kaz. Here is speed in the zone is Jackson Wing. Wing will fire. Stopped by Shoemaker.
Yeah, that's a big save to make by Shoemaker. That's not, that's kind of textbook save, but I've said this before, I'll say it again. In games like this, the textbook ones are the ones that you cannot afford to mess up. You got to have those nailed down, and Shoemaker shows us right there he does have that nailed down.
Evan Dorsey is the leading goal scorer for Brunswick now. He scored his 5th on the season. They're beating Morgan. According to our Jumbotron, that was the first shot on goal for Brunswick. I do believe that is true. So Caleb Morgan has yet to make a save. Kaz, we heard a story. We'd love for our Cony fans to confirm this, that the starting goaltender, Ryan Bork, is not playing today because he was suspended for fighting a couple games ago. If that is not true, please do let us know in the comment section, but that is the story that we heard.
Yeah, we heard that from a couple of Brunswick hockey players. There could be no truth in that, but that's just what we're working with right now.
But Caleb Morgan is the starter today. Here's an open opportunity when we stop by Bobuff, knocks it to Lyons. Lyons up ice. Nice pass to Houston. Nicky Houston in the zone. He will hang back. Top circle will fire. Save made by Morgan. That's his first stop.
And that's a good look from Houston there. Dragons were definitely down in numbers. They had, 2-on-4 maybe they were down, and just Houston getting something on net. It's a good look.
Patterson winds up, and Morgan will stop that with his glove. How about that mustard?
Yeah. As you said earlier, I believe you said Patterson has a howitzer of an arm. Well, how do you say it, Robert?
He has a howitzer on his right arm, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. And you couldn't have put it better myself. An absolute cannon. And he showed us it there.
Dorsey will lose the draw there to Leach. That top line of Cony Ford is back on. Here's a chance, a breakaway. LePage centering pass, score! Spencer Morgan, a beautiful one-timer. And Cony has the 2-1 lead. That is as good of a hockey play as we have seen this year on VHSN Kaz. Wow.
I mean, are you kidding me, Robert? That is a serious blend of speed, technique, and placement there from Cony. Number 17, I believe. Yeah, that was
LePage.
Kyle LePage flying up the ice, centers it to Morgan. Morgan, one-timer, finds the back of the net.
That is just beautiful hockey. We can tell why we have all the fans of the Rams joining us. LePage does attend Monmouth, however. Leet is from Cony, and the goal scorer, Morgan, also from Monmouth. So among that top line of forwards, there are 2 Monmouth players. I'm not sure what the mascot is for Monmouth, but we do call the whole team the Rams. Here's a shot save made by Shoemaker off of Godbout. Dragons will send on their second line of forwards, Salko, Kittinger, and Rathbone. It will be Cooper Clark as well as Chase Callahan. And who is that third forward going to be? Appears to be number 10 in red, Jackson Wing, for the second line of forwards for Cony. Here's Patterson off the faceoff win, pressured by Clark, is able to wall him off. Here's a shot deflected by Boak. Shot by Callahan will be stopped by Shoemaker. And Patterson now with some words for Clark. Patterson with the poke check on Clark after the play. I do know that Clark played with James Salko at some point. Number 17 in white for Brunswick. At some point they crossed paths, and I'm willing to assume that Patterson and him did as well. It's the Monmouth High School, or maybe Academy Mustangs.
Yeah, we did conclude that. We briefly thought it was the Eagles, but nevertheless, it is the Mustangs, but all these teams do play under the greater umbrella of the Cony High School Rams.
Patterson trying to put the hit on. Here's a shot towards net, and it will be gloved by Shoemaker once again. A lot of quick whistles, quick freezes. That was just, I'm still in awe of that play by Leet up ice to LePage, a centering pass and the one-timer to Morgan. Just a beautiful hockey play. Here's a shot right off the faceoff and again stopped by Shoemaker. Whistle after whistle, Kaz. Are we going to play hockey?
Yeah, I somewhat fear that this whistle after whistle will repeat until Cony scores on one of these faceoffs, and it seems like they just get shot after shot here.
Clark will win it cleanly here. Back to LaValle. LaValle D to D shot. Save Shoemaker. Rebound score. Chase Callahan has his second. And it is 3-1 Rams.
I mean, that is somewhat exactly what I just said would happen. That's just too many faceoffs in the defensive zone of Brunswick. They got too many good looks there. And this is a very high scoring first period, honestly. 3-1.
Yeah.
This is with 6.5 minutes to go, mind you. I mean, it's not over yet.
This Cony team, Kaz, this is some extremely high level hockey. I would not be surprised to see this team playing at the Civic Center later in February, or maybe the championship's actually in March. This will be a trip for our first penalty of the Monday night. It will be on Levi Boboff, 25 in white, the junior from Brunswick.
And Robert, I'll be the first to tell you, Brunswick cannot afford a penalty right now. A 5-on-4. A 5-on-5 is already seeming to be heavy on them, but 5-on-4 is going to be hard to deal with.
I'm excited to see this Ram power play. Face-off won by Vayu. D to D pass here with Walling. This is the net. Patterson will look to clear, and he does. That is a rocket up the ice by Patterson. And Morgan will trap it off the back wall, leaves it off for Walling.
Yeah, good. Patterson looked like, Patterson gets this look/sense of determination where, if he wants to do something, it's going to be really hard to stop him. And you could kind of just feel it there, just his energy, the way he was moving. He wanted that puck out of there, and that's what was going to happen.
Vayu tried to knock it up the ice and got stopped by the skates of the linesman. Rathbone will also dish it down to kill some more time on that penalty kill. Thank you, Ashley Fouchée, for putting up the power play on our scoreboard. Once again, sponsored by Singer Domingo Portside Real Estate. Puck will be lofted wide right of the net. Collected. Sampson will rim it around the boards. And another clear for the Dragon penalty kill. Love how the puck just completely disappears for an extended period of time. And it will teleport to that end with Alex Leet. Here's Leet. Will loft it up, and here is the first line of forwards for Cony with speed. LePage will try to race around Patterson, centering pass and a goal. Wow. Leet, the one-timer to Gabe Godbout. And it is 4-1 Cony.
Yeah, this Cony offense is high-powered. We're learning that the hard way already. 4 goals in the first period. This could get ugly, folks. We need Brunswick to really... I mean, this is after I said this last time, Brunswick did pull a little something together. So we need Brunswick to pull a little something together here, get some momentum going, try and just salvage what's left of this game.
It seems that any time that line... I see Patterson delivers a huge hit on the page, but a quick centering pass to Leet in the slot is stopped. A nice play there by Jamison Palmer as Dorsey eats the big collision along the boards.
And for you Rams fans who are likely not aware, Dorsey is coming off a pretty big concussion there, so it is not ideal for him to be taking too many head bashes.
D-to-D pass here with Jackson Wing. Wing tries to put the move on Palmer, and he does. Cony gets a change, and off the bench is Chase Callahan with the puck. Callahan himself from Cony, one of those 7 Cony players on the Cony team. Boak tries to clear it, and he does. The puck bounds into the neutral zone. Patterson off his skates. Fading back, will put the move on Callahan. He will loft with his backhand up for Rathbone. It is knocked up by Callahan instead. Palmer along the back wall as Salco will sub on for Brunswick Freeport. Spinning now with the puck is LaValle. LaValle will give it up. Pass up the ice will be caught by Chase Callahan once again. Levi Bobuff along the back wall. Cooper Clark looking to get it back for Cony. Here's Callahan, will be hit. Nice play there by Bobuff to wall off the play for Rathbone to collect, but Cony does get it back here with Callahan. Here's Clark. Clark will survey, open is Callahan. He'll fire, stopped by Michael Shoemaker. And after the play, Cooper Clark had his stick hit out, and Callahan will tell him to go home. It's actually Rathbone who had his, oh no, it was Clark who slashed the stick out of Rathbone's hands. That makes more sense.
Yeah, and that's going to be the 13th shot on goal for Cony in just 11 and a half minutes of action. That's a lot. If Cony keeps this up, we're going to be seeing in the mid-50s to 60s, I think, in total shots on Michael, and that can only mean one thing with this level of shooting coming off the other team.
Here is Easton along the boards. It'll be shout out to Ellie Musica, a fantastic track runner for Brunswick. Turned over here to Avery Sampson, and Sampson with a huge hit on Tyler Randall.
Good to see a little physicality from the boys here. Just anything really to try and get some excitement, energy back on the ice.
Here with speed into the zone is Walling. Walling will try to get around Lyons. Lyons does not clear it. Kept in the zone towards the net, stopped by the skate of the captain Avery Sampson. Landry looking up for Lyons.
That's a great play by Avery Sampson there. If he doesn't get his skate on that, it's likely that Shoemaker freezes it, and we're going to see another offensive zone faceoff for the Rams, and that is something the Brunswick boys do not need to endure right now. We're going to see Tyler Randall spin out there after looked like his skate might have been chopped a little bit. But Sampson will recover possession here, and he'll lead the Dragons the other way.
Sampson
deep
puts
shot.
it on net. Yeah. Avery Sampson scored his first career varsity goal as a senior, as a defenseman, of course. Last game against Cape Elizabeth, and he has a nice shot there on net, but it will be gloved by Morgan. Once again, I'll give my second shout out to TJ Maines, the athletic director at Cony, for sharing the link to this stream with all of our Rams fans. So we have a very large viewership tonight. Thank you to Mr. Maines.
Yeah, Robert, I think we're going to have to start working with our athletic director to make this common practice to share with other athletic directors. Because, the more viewers, the better, and we're happy to provide this service to all teams that Brunswick faces. That puck came off the head of, I believe it was number 4. I think that was Alexander Varl. It came off. It was hit by Ned Boak and almost left the field of play.
Dorsey there will knock it towards Cony will collect the puck again, but Dorsey will recollect for the Dragons. Here, 90 seconds left to work with off the skate of LePage, and collected once again by Varley of Cony. Turned over. Here's Bodich with a chance. Knight makes a toe drag, takes it inside, backhand down the middle. Rathbone fans, but Boak will fire. It is blocked by Varley. Boak will wrestle the puck back towards the net. Rathbone racing forward in the corner. A golden opportunity that they couldn't convert on, but Bodich still putting the pressure on. Here's Rathbone looking to wrap around. Save made by Morgan. Still alive in the slot. And turned over. Patterson going for the big hit, and he does lay out Alex Leeds. But the other way, a chance for Cony. LePage is open. Boak with the poke check. Kaz does call him poke check Boak after all.
Yeah, big hitter Boak, poke check Boak. You know, he's a legend. He's a great guy. But I like to see him, you know, playing a little physical, a little aggressive. Brunswick needs to end out this quarter with some energy. Oh,
Patterson, he does have speed. The fastest skater, in my opinion, for the Dragons. Kittinger looking forward up the ice, but it will be won by Godbout.
Robert, don't you think that the fastest skater for the Dragons wouldn't be opinion-based and could be actually measured by just who is the fastest?
Yeah, you might think so. Clark with a nice piece of skating, but he couldn't get a clean shot off. This will be a penalty, I believe, on the Dragons for tripping, as Morgan will skate off, and it'll be a 6-on-5. Cony will start the next period with the man advantage, but they have 5 seconds left to work with, and a second penalty. Will it be a 5-on-3 for Cony? I think it's going to be a 5-on-3 for Cony to start the second period, and that is just not what you love to see for a Dragon team trailing 4-1.
Rob, where are you getting 3 from?
Well, could it have been offsides the second time for the second? Because I think Patterson's going to the box too. I think he is. Yeah, Patterson and Sampson, the two captains, the two starting defensemen, both to the box. Patterson had troubles with penalties the last 2 seasons, and I had made fun of him a lot for it. He's a good friend of mine, guys. But Patterson this year had really done a great job at honing in the penalties. He only had 3 so far in 5 games, and now finally does. And it is a 6-on-3 right now. The Rams pull Morgan, so for 2 seconds, it is going to be a 6-on-3 for the Rams. Jonah Kittinger, you have to win this faceoff, young man. You have got to win this faceoff. Puck drop will be won by Kittinger, and that'll do it. The Dragons escape the 6-on-3. And Cony will have a 5-on-3 with the Dragons missing their top 2 defensemen to start the second period.
Yeah, that's rough for the Dragons. They're going to have both Patterson and Sampson essentially with a full 2 minutes to go. You know, it's not how we want to go into this second period here, but we're going to have to adapt, adjust, work as a team to get around that. But that's a play right there that's probably going to go underappreciated, and that's Kittinger winning that face-off to prevent the 6-on-3 from having a look at the net. That play is probably going to be forgot about, but that's a big play from the freshman to, you know, give the Dragons a little bit of breathing room.
That's a great point. He is a freshman. That is just fantastic little play from Jonah Kittinger. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us from Cony, Erskine, Halldale, Moraine, Cook, Monmouth, Spruce Mountain, and Winthrop. And, of course, our Brunswick fans, our Brunswick Freeport fans, we didn't forget about you. Guys, we didn't forget about you. We're still very grateful for our hometown fans watching this game. But, yes, we understand the huge Cony following.
Yeah, we love our hometown fans. We're going to give a shout-out to Micah Greenwald and the Greenwald family. Micah has told me that he is watching right now and enjoying the game from the comfort of his own home. We're going to sign off for just about 10 minutes. Robert's going to say one more thing, and then we'll see you back here in a few.
Yeah, we got Kosinski and myself, Robert Bowen on the microphone, Ashley Fouchée on our scoreboard, sponsored by Singer Domingo Portside Real Estate, and Brandon Ware on the camera. We'll get you back here in 9 minutes and 20 seconds on VHSM. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Bowen College. We just, with the increased viewership, we don't want you guys to all have to. It's okay, as long as we talk the whole time. We do sometimes worry about the intermission in terms of copyrighting the music, but I think if we're talking the whole time, it's going to be okay. Just with our increased viewership, don't want you guys to have to just sit in front of a muted television for the next 4 minutes. So we will talk a little bit, guys. We do thank you so much for joining us. Brunswick High Sports Network, we started streaming in 2023. It was just me and my good friend Brady Marzakis streaming games on Facebook. Then last year we combined to create really the greater Brunswick High Sports Network in terms of also streaming basketball games, and we also moved to YouTube. That was founded also with Ethan Patterson. You guys saw him on the ice, number 3 in white for the Dragons. He's also very involved in this. He helps out with the girls hockey, the boys basketball, and the girls basketball stream. But of course, he can't really help out with the boys hockey streams, can he?
No. He's typically, I mean, for the most part, I would say probably 100% of the time, he's out on the ice playing.
Yeah.
Like it's more his, that's kind of his role, in the whole boys hockey streaming thing. It's like, it's just to play the game. Yeah. It's quite crucial. It's more crucial than you'd imagine.
Yeah, we can't really have the streams if there aren't games. So we do thank Ethan for taking one for the team and playing the sport. And you've seen him. He's an incredibly hard hitter, and he had a beautiful assist to Dorsey up ice.
Yeah, he did. That was the Dragons' sole goal of this period, was that assist to Evan Dorsey. And we're hoping to see a little more of it this next period, but this high-powered Cony team is...
Yeah, his team is good, guys.
They've been causing all sorts of problems. They sit atop Class B North right now.
Yeah, and interesting you say that. The way that I see how Class B is shaping up, the North definitely seems to be the stronger class, which is not how it was last year. Last year, if you guys remember, it was really the South who was much better. Cheviarm went on to win Class B South and went to the championship, and they ended up beating pretty handily John Baptist and B North. But the turntables have really turned here in Class B, where South does appear to be a lot weaker, especially with Chevers Yarmouth moving up to Class A. And Class B North appears to be much stronger, especially with this Cony team, Mesalonsky, and John Baptist.
Robert, we have a question here. What were those 2 penalty calls on Brunswick? We're going to clarify here and for all the fans at home.
The way I saw it, it was just 2 tripping calls. That's the way I saw it. I'll have to go back through, but the second one on Patterson did appear to be him just chopping at someone's legs.
I was afraid it was a warning call. I mean, I could see the penalty on that, but he took a run at him. I thought.
Yeah, it was an interesting play along the boards. The way I saw it, they were both tripping, but could have been along that hooking.
I never saw the referee make a signal.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Could have been in the hooking landscape. Apparently, Cooper Clark, number 14 in red for Cony, actually had a cross-check after the play in that 6-on-3.
He was a good guy when they were lining up for the face-off. He picked up somebody's stick.
Oh, yeah. So that is why we're actually not going to have a 5-on-3 to start the second period, but actually a 4-on-3, because those penalties are 1 second apart, so it will be a 4-on-3.
With a clean sheet ice, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah. Coney, of course, the significantly faster team than Brunswick. Brunswick has a couple of really fast skaters, namely Ethan Patterson, Nat Rathbone, and Nikki Heaston. But Cony, it appears, every single one of them is as fast as Patterson and Rathbone. So with just 4 of those skaters skating around 3 for Brunswick, I'm a little scared, Cass.
Yeah, Robert, and it somewhat reminds me of an NFL team punting the football, because they send it long and they have essentially gunners on the wings that just come flying down, just bombing right down, and it feels inevitable that they will, find the back of the net.
It sounds insane, but like that creates a pretty accurate mental picture of what I imagine this 4-on-3 is going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, this 4-on-3 with as we just heard, a clean sheet of ice, it is going to be chaos out there. We can only imagine what is going to ensue.
Patterson and Sampson will walk towards that penalty box where they will open. So, Kaz, now with the extra viewers, I will reuse my favorite joke, which is, of course, should they make Patterson, Sampson, and Cooper Clark sit in the penalty box throughout the entire intermission? Because I really think they should.
Yeah, I think it I don't know why they'd make them do that, but sure. I think it incentivizes, I guess not getting penalties within 2 minutes of the end of a period / half.
It could be a fun rule is all I'm saying. Sampson and Patterson have taken their seats. We're still awaiting Cooper Clark to make the journey across the blue line into the box, and here he comes. So it will be a 4-on-3. The Dragons send out Rathbone, Salco, and Ned Boak. For the Rams, they will have out there Spencer Morgan, Alex Leet, and then Patrick Murphy, as well as 11 in red, Gabe Godbout. This faceoff is won by Rathbone. Boak will find Salco, and Salco will just quickly, conservatively knock it up the ice. It is no icing, though. Taken over here by those 4 skaters, and let's see those football gunners as it hits off the boards. Boak will just also try to run some clock. The Dragons are still on the penalty kill, so they cannot ice the puck. Morgan will leave it off. Here's Murphy, back to Morgan. Morgan will survey, and that puck will thankfully roll back on net to Morgan.
Yeah, Dragons definitely look like they are on their heels right now. We got Kittinger, Sampson, and Boak on the ice. We need a big performance here to stop this Cony offense, who now sits up a man.
That's a great play by Boak to stop that shot attempt by Morgan. Here's a shot by Elite, save made by the leg pad of Shoemaker. Murphy off the rebound, back to Elite. Elite will survey. He will give it up. Not a great pass to Morgan.
Now, this is something you don't see all that often in hockey. The Dragons are in a triangle formation, essentially, just to try and stop this attack.
Shoemaker somehow keeps it out. 2 consecutive attempts from Alex Leet, and no goal. 40 seconds to go on the 4-on-3. Save made by Shoemaker again. Kittinger will try to release. Kittinger will knock it up the ice, and he will try to win that race to the puck. Coming way out is Morgan, and he's able to make the pass through Kittinger to Leet. And here comes Leet. 27 seconds to go on the 4-on-3. The Dragons will have 2 seconds of power play once their 2 penalties are done with.
Yeah, it's Dragons. It certainly looks like that the Dragons are going to kill this penalty here, which is super important because any more damage to this already struggling Dragons team here could prove fatal.
Connor Callahan with speed. Save made. Shoemaker rebound. Fighting there is Callahan with Bowditch, and Sampson and Patterson will both release. Sampson out of the box. Poke check on Callahan, and that will kill all 3 penalties. Clark will also release for the Rams, and Patterson will now look to collect. Hit by Clark, and we will have a whistle here. Shoemaker in some pain. Colton Sampson and Ryan Livesay are the 2 backup goaltenders for Brunswick. You gotta hope that Shoemaker is okay.
Yeah, we're not sure what happened here. We're going to go to the instant replay booth, try and do a little recon, but we can only hope Shoemaker's all right. He is skated off to the side of the ice now.
I think he's already in pain there. Oh, Shoemaker did take a slap at Connor Callahan. I have to be honest here. Jeez, look at this, guys.
Yeah, he did just slap him in the shin pad there.
I wonder if that's after Callahan did something to Shoemaker, or could it have just been a save?
I think it was the save came off the cage of Shoemaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's down. Yeah. He's in pain right there. Oh, how did we miss that?
Bobuff is going to the box.
Robert, how did we miss this? Look at this. After the shot hits Michael in the cage, he just...
Yeah, he crumples in pain. Yeah, he does. Bobuff is in the penalty box for the Dragons. Is that a... Could it have been a penalty? There's no way it could have been a penalty on Shoemaker for the slap on Callahan, surely. I don't think that got called, but Bobuff is in the box. I did not see what the penalty was on him, but here's a shot. We will see the Cony power play once more.
We're going to give an attaboy to Shoemaker here for fighting through that, clearly in a lot of pain, but knows his team needs him now, and he's going to remain out there
that is the second penalty. It was on Shoemaker. It was the slash on Callahan. Okay. That is actually Shoemaker's second penalty this year. And if that story is true about the goaltender for Cony getting into a fight, then we have penalties by both goalies in the last few games. So very, very interesting, Cass.
I think Michael Shoemaker had a penalty maybe a game or two ago as well.
This is the second penalty of the year. He has the slash on Callahan, and he also had a trip against Kennebunk.
Yeah, I remember that pretty vividly. He just went ahead and chopped out the skates of a Kennebunk player.
Lions will fall. Into the zone comes Clark with that wide receiver speed. Clark, I believe, was also a first-team all-conference defensive back in B North. He was actually the second listed defensive back. Kaz, do you remember who the first listed defensive back for the first-team all-conference in Class B North was for football?
Oh, man, was it Darius Johnson?
No, it'd actually be me. It was actually me.
Really?
Yeah.
Shout out Robert Bowen.
Yeah, I was the first listed defensive back in Class B North all-conference, and then Cooper Clark was the second, so. And only one of us is playing hockey right now. Clark will fire. It is blocked by Avery Sampson. Here is Clark again with space. He will fire. It's a hold on Chase Callahan, and that will do it for the Dragon power play.
You know, Robert, I couldn't entirely tell what the foul was there, but I did see Callahan hanging his head in sorrow, and you could just tell that perhaps he was the one in trouble here. And we're going to see 4-on-4 play for 22 seconds now.
Yeah, 4-on-4 for 22 seconds, and then the Dragons will have their first power play of the January Monday evening. But 4-on-4 does still benefit that very fast Cony offense, I would say. Here's Murphy in the neutral zone. Will loft it up. Will be caught by Patterson. Leaves it off for Dorsey. Dorsey to Patterson. Patterson with speed into the zone. He will fire from the top of the circle. It's deflected by the stick of Godbout, and that will release Bobuff, and the Dragons are on the power play. Here's Boak. Boak will loft it to right of the net. And here's a big hit by Palmer along the boards. Bodic will pass it to himself, and the Dragons will settle on with the 5-on-4. Bodic will survey, high slot, fires, save made, rebound. Patterson, open along the wing, will cut back on Leet. Patterson with space, gives up to Bodic. Bodic will cut back. He's pressured tightly by Godbout, and he's thrown into the boards by Godbout as well. Dorsey and Bodic still fighting there, and turned over here. Puck lofted way up in the air. Patterson fighting for it there with Leet, and he'll knock it up. Turned over to LePage, though. Patterson harassing LePage and knocked back in the Dragons' defensive zone.
Yeah, Cony's going to get a couple changes here. Not a wholesale change, as they'll keep a couple guys on, but they will have some fresh legs out there. Dragons do not make any changes, but now they do.
Still no score in our second period of play. Kittinger will make the move. High circle, he'll fire, save made. Morgan rebound and cleared, but right to Sampson to keep it in the zone for Brunswick Freeport. Sampson is a senior at Freeport High School. Clark will loft it up, but it is stopped. A nice play by Levi Bobuff to stop that 2-on-1. 15 seconds to go on Callahan's holding minor. Up ice here, back into the Dragon defensive zone. No icing, of course. On the penalty kill are the Rams. Clark will look to wrestle that puck, and Sampson will clear as Callahan releases, and the Cony penalty kill is successful. Along the boards there, Rathbone gets hit by Clark, and Bobuff will put the shoulder into Clark as well.
Yeah, I like that from Bobuff there. You know, protect your teammates. It's all about the camaraderie. A bad team can be a good team if they have good chemistry.
Here is Callahan, up ice to Callahan. I have to make the assumption that they're brothers, a junior and freshman respectively, both from Cony. And running 2 and 3, Callahan on a wide open net, but hit the pipe. Winding up though as Clark fires. Save, I believe it was deflected by a Dragon defenseman. Nice spin move here by Wing, will fire, and a loud sound around that glass. Clark from below the blue line. It will be not caught, and Kittinger will knock it, and a chance here for Nat Rathbone. Rathbone makes the cut on Callahan, and he can collect it. Salco loses the puck. Looked like a good opportunity for the Dragons.
I think Salco thought he had Kittinger closer behind him. I think he was trying to leave it off for him, but Kittinger was a couple steps back.
Here's Clark. Will look to clear. He lofts it up the ice. Boak will watch it bound, and I believe that would have been an icing, but Boak will collect it for Brunswick. He is pressured there by Wing. Up ice for Landry. And will that be an icing the other way? No, deflected by Landry. Up ice, Patterson stops it. Will knock it around that back wall as Cony gets a change. Houston putting pressure on. He gets the turnover for the Dragons. Houston will fan on the centering pass, though. And turn back over here with Randall. He'll be hit by Patterson. Boak in the neutral zone. Given up the ice and taken over by Walling for Cony. Easton will put the hit on Randall. Patterson will catch it off the glass, bats it forward. It is a hand pass, so Cony has to be the next team to touch the puck because Patterson batted it forward in the offensive zone. That is that hand pass rule, Kaz. The more you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. I think it's fair. Otherwise, this game would look a lot more like football.
And that would benefit Cooper Clark, but pretty much no one else. I don't think there's a single other football-hockey crossover on the ice right now other than 14 in red. The Dragons had one last year named Bo Marini, but that's the only one there's really been in my memory. It's a rare combination. I believe there is a high draft pick in the NHL that is still finishing out his career as a quarterback playing American football in Canada. There's a fun fact for you. I'll have to look up his name during intermission.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I think in Brunswick especially, you really see the soccer, hockey, lacrosse as the real three-point turn of a combination.
Samson, pressured by Clark, will lay it up the ice and no ice. I will trust the linesman that got tipped somewhere along the line. And it will be collected by Fogg. Up ice here, a chance for Cony. Fires over the net, a rocket by Jackson Wing. And now, big collision along the board. Centering pass will be picked off by Bowditch, and Cole Bowditch with a chance for the Dragons. Pressured by Murphy. He'll be hit by Murphy into the boards, but he will collect it. Bowditch is open in the slot. He will try to leave it off for Palmer, and it wouldn't get through. Jackson Wing with a 3-on-2 the other way for the Rams, but Dorsey gets back on defense to even that out, and the puck rolls right of the net.
That ended up looking like a change-up pitch in baseball. It was much slower than any other shot. I think it might have been deflected or tipped. Because of that, it almost got Shoemaker because, you know, the change-up, it works. He's not expecting it to be sliding like that slow. All of a sudden, you know, it might be in the back of your net.
Here's Jackson Wing, another good piece of skating. We'll try to center it, hit by Patterson. Nice wall off there by Wing on Dorsey. Here's a shot from the high circle, blocked by Patterson. He'll lay it up the ice to get the icing and a change for Brunswick Freeport.
Yeah, it's been a pretty quiet second period overall. Not a lot of goal action. I mean, a couple shots on goal for both teams. Nobody's added to their tally on the night though. Let's see if that looks to change. I don't.
Face off here for Rathbone. Kittinger up to Patterson. Patterson will loft it up for Rathbone, too far. And Callahan will collect. You heard that yell from LePage to go D to D, and that's what Callahan does, D to D pass to his brother, I assume, the other Callahan. LePage will lay it up for Clark. Couldn't handle it, and a chance for Boak the other way. A 3-on-2 for the Dragons. He has Salko to his left and Kittinger to his right. He'll give it to Kittinger. Jonah Kittinger cuts with space. Will loft it up for Salko and sticked aside by Morgan.
I will say, I think the Dragons have made some effective changes this period. They've had a much better period than the first. They haven't conceded any goals, and they've had a lot of good looks at the net.
Salko racing after it, but it'll be won by number 13 in red, Jacob LaValle, a senior from Erskine Academy. Rathbone will fire. Blocker save made by Morgan. A golden shooting chance for Nat Rathbone, who has 3 goals of his own this season. Puck back here with Morgan. That dangerous trio. And that will be an offside.
Yeah, and Nat Rathbone with a great look there. We're gonna need more out of him tonight. He's been playing great. If he can maintain this, maybe net 1 or 2, we might be in this game. I think. You know, it's possible that Cony nets a couple more, but just gotta hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, in case, once again, Brunswick High Sports Network, we are actually Brunswick fans. Kaz is a junior at Brunswick. I am a senior. Asher Fouchée on our scoreboard, sponsored by Singer Domingo Portside Real Estate. He is also a junior. Brandon Ware, alumni of Brunswick, on our camera. And I am Robert Bowen, and the senior. I think I did already mention that. I'll say it just one more time. Here's a chance, though. Centering pass open. Shot blocked by Jamison Palmer.
Yeah, I think that's one of the changes Brunswick's been
Houston,
making.
I think it was.
One of the changes Brunswick's definitely made this period is that they're getting out to those shooters quicker. They're not letting those shots get all the way to Michael Shoemaker. They're stepping hard and aggressively. Anytime it looks like a shot's fired, they got to be the first one there, and they know that.
Chance here, shot blocked by Sampson. He puts the hit as well on Vayu. Lions along the boards. Centering pass deflected by Shoemaker among others. Collisions kept in the zone, shot blocked by Shoemaker there by Walling. Put the shot on for Cony. Along the wing, fire, save made Shoemaker. Houston will try to clear. That's right in our direction, Kaz. Made me jump.
Yeah, that one, another couple feet of air. We're going to have to step up and make a play there. Bat that thing down.
I'm sure Asher Fouchée is jumping in front of that puck if it's coming anywhere near me. Isn't that right, Asher? This will be Clark up against Dorsey for the faceoff. It'll be won by Clark forward, though, so Bo collects for the Dragons. Here's a shot blocked by Patterson from Murphy. Patterson will be hit into the boards. Collision here between Patterson and Callahan. Patterson will try to clear, lays it up for Dorsey. Dorsey, can he get it? That's how they scored earlier, was Patterson up ice to Dorsey. Up ahead to Bodic. Bodic will wait. He's very patient with that puck. Bodic will backhand it around to Dorsey. Evan Dorsey, centering pass for Palmer. Palmer up, caught. Patterson will rocket towards the net. It is wide.
It's quite remarkable how much power Patterson generates with so little wind-up or movement. There
Does it again, blocked by Callahan. And here with Dorsey in the corner, he will have it blocked by Murphy. Dorsey walled off by Murphy. That is a great play by 34 in red, but Patterson keeps it in the zone for Brunswick. He'll rocket it towards the net again. It's blocked by Callahan. And actually, it was Murphy who blocked it that time. Then Patterson puts the slash on Callahan, but now a chance for Clark the other way. Clark in the slot will fire and score. Cooper Clark beats Boak and Shoemaker to make it 5-1 Rams.
I mean, not a lot to say about that one, Rob. That's a great goal. It's a great finish from Clark. Dragons had nearly a perfect period there. One goal allowed in the final minute. Yeah, not much else to say.
Yeah, clearly a big jump in defensive ability by the Dragons here in the second period, only giving up one goal instead of 4 in the first, especially killing that 4-on-3 as well. But they do let it one in the end, and they really haven't been able to get too many quality shots off, so they can't really come back on offense either. But overall, good period for the Dragons. Still have time left, though, to get something else.
And I think that big defensive hold, that stems really from a big step taken by both Ned Boak and Levi Bobuff. Both of them saw a significant time this period, and they really held it down well.
Yeah, we have not seen Sam Jansen and Drew Wilson yet, the two freshmen, Drew Wilson is a sophomore, but the two underclassmen defensemen who've been playing a lot more recently. We've seen Boak and Bobuff in their wake, and there is Bobuff falling down. A chance for Morgan. Shoemaker comes out to make that save. Shoemaker way out of position. The puck's alive, and Shoemaker falls on his back to make the save. Somehow, Shoemaker got back in the crease and laid down to stop it with his backside. Unreal.
I mean, he's not the most typical goalie ever, but he will do everything he possibly can to stop that puck from getting in the net. He is known to do this. He will lay out for it. He'll do whatever it takes. He's got that killer instinct that you need in a keeper.
That is just amazing. Shoemaker able to stop the initial rush by Morgan, and to do so, he had to just come way out of his net. But he gets back into position, lay on his back and makes the stop.
Shoemaker is also a weapon in chemistry. He recently scored a 112 on the chemistry test,
wow.
Which is, I mean, for those who are in Miss Bergen's chemistry class, that is a remarkable score.
That was in stoichiometry too, right?
That was a stoichiometry test that a lot of people did not do so hot on, but Shoemaker managed to throw down a monster score.
Yeah, good point. But 6 seconds, will the Rams pull their goalie this time? They do not. 6 seconds is plenty of time for an Ethan Patterson full court empty net goal. So They will just play the 5-on-5 out here with 6 seconds to go in the second period. Morgan versus Rathbone, 20-on-20. No, they do kick out Morgan for Leeds on the face-off. Puck drop will be won by Patterson. Morgan a chance, fires, blocked by Patterson, and rocket up the floor, or the ice, I should say.
So yeah, that was wise by
Not to pull the goalie.
yeah, wise not to pull the goalie there. Patterson's shot would have made it in time, and I think Cony's probably.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the, once again, beautiful City J. Watson Arena at Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine. As, well, I would say your Brunswick Dragons, but we probably have mostly Rams fans watching, so your Cony Rams traveled to Brunswick to play against the Brunswick Freeport Dragons.
No, I mean, Robert, this is Brunswick High School Sports Network. We're back in the Dragons. We're here for the Dragons.
Yeah, okay. So to every single viewer watching, your Brunswick Dragons. That's right, trail 5-1. Owen McGrath, star player, star forward. You're forward or guard?
Guard.
Okay, whatever.
Shooting guard is guard. Owen, you traditionally play the shooting guard position, right? I mean, knockdown shooter, probably the best three-point shooter on Brunswick. How do you feel about this game so far? I think you're just arriving.
Just got here. We just finished practice. Doesn't look great, but there's still another period, so.
Yes.
Well, Owen McGrath, a star shooting guard for the Brunswick Dragons boys basketball team. You guys have a big game tomorrow. You travel across the bridge, the brand new bridge. I don't know if you guys have been in Brunswick recently, but brand new bridge. You guys will travel across that to play against rival Mount Ararat, a doubleheader with the girls team. Now, again, a lot of you viewers are from Cony or Monmouth, but you guys should really tune in to watch the Brunswick boys basketball game tomorrow. It should be a good one, Owen, right?
Yeah, it should be a good one. We're coming off a 4 or 5 game win streak now.
I think 5, yeah.
5, yeah. We're rolling right now. Big rivalry game, and we're excited to see what we can do tomorrow, but it should be fun.
Well, that'll be at 5 o'clock live here, right on Brunswick High Sports Network on YouTube. Owen, best of luck tomorrow, man.
Appreciate it.
Oh, we have 15 minutes remaining of hockey play before we can get to basketball tomorrow. And Cony leads 5-1.
Yeah, I mean, Cony started out really strong here, 4-1 in the first period, sorry. But now we're back to a 1-0 second period in favor of Cony. Maybe the Dragons can flip that in their direction this period.
Opening draw will be between Isaac Fogg, who's actually a freshman from Halldale. Or no, that's 6. That's not 9. Never mind. That's 6, not 8. Sorry. It is Alex Lee taking the face-off, and he does win it back to Murphy. Boak going for the big hit on LePage. Here's a rocket by Elite will hit over the back glass. Here's Morgan. Will leave it back off to Lead. Centering pass to LePage wouldn't fall. And Palmer will backhand it and absorb the hit to Patterson. Ethan Patterson looking up the ice and will be caught by Dorsey in midair. And a great cross-ice pass to Palmer by Bowditch. Here's Palmer. Jamison Palmer will leave it off to Dorsey. Dorsey, just a great bit of passing by the Dragons, but it looks like they can't create a real offensive chance out of it. Patterson will fan on that shot, and it's turned over to Spencer Morgan. Morgan with a chance with his own. He will lose possession. Patterson, what a great job to get back on defense. That's just remarkable, making up for his mistake. Clark will fire, save made Shoemaker. Kaz. This game against such a great Cony offense, I was talking with you and Matt Shoemaker about this during the break. I can actually really tell how great of a defender Ethan Patterson is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in that possession right there, he turned it over. His back was to his net. He's able to turn around and just fly back to his guy and make a big defensive stop there.
He's had a whole bunch of hits tonight, a whole bunch of caused turnovers, which I don't believe they track in hockey, but he would have a lot. Callahan into the zone. He will be hit by Boba Van Sampson and still collected by Cony, but a nice poke by Salco will knock that puck into the Cony defensive zone. Nice play by Salco. And Cony will reset behind Morgan's net. Callahan will leave it off to who we assume to be his brother. With speed, here is Chase Callahan. Off the boards. Sampson will backhand it as Callahan will fall. And now here with Sampson, will kick it to himself. He has a trailer and a nice lift check, but Sampson gets it back. That was Vayu behind him. Sampson will put the hit on, and now Rathbone with the big hit along the boards on LaValle. And turned over here with LaValle. He'll break out. Up ice. Clark racing after it with Bobuff. Clark will win that race. Absorbs the poke check. Centering pass. Shot is wide of the net by Jacob LaValle. Here's Callahan below the line. He'll wind up. Fire save. Shoemaker rebound. And collected by Rathbone. Rathbone absorbs the hit. Up ice too far for Kittinger. And Rathbone and Sackle will skate off. Kittinger, though, still pressuring, and there's nice.
Love to see the effort out of Kittinger there. You know, he guy's a stud. He's young, he's a freshman, but he's been an impact player this year. And we're excited to watch him in years to come. I do say that like you won't be graduating in a few months and I won't be a senior next year.
Kaz, when I am in my dorm at Boston College, I will be watching every single live stream that you have of every single hockey game next year.
Well, it's good to know at least we'll have one viewer.
Here's Patterson behind Shoemaker's net. Will backhand it to Boak. Boak looking up the ice. It'll be deflected by the blade of Landry. At least I thought. Is that nice? Looked to me like it was deflected by Landry, but we will trust the linesman. As we say here in Brunswick High Sports Network, Kaz, the officials are always right.
Yeah, absolutely. Officials are always right.
Face-off here in the Cony offensive zone will be won by Tyler Landry. Boak is hit hard along the boards by Randall. Landry digging for it. And Patterson will win that puck once again, as he has done many times today. They'll have to reset, though. Looking up, ice up, nice pass. And falling down is Tyler Landry off the great pass from Patterson. Boak off the boards. Here's Randall. Boak will miss on the hit, but Randall still does stumble. Winding up there on the shot was Walling. Here's Houston will leave it up, and Landry this time does not fall. He takes it into the zone. Landry will fire, save made. Morgan rebound for Houston. Couldn't get the shot, and Walling will get possession for Cony. Poke check here.
Rob, I'm sad to say I might need to check out soon. I have a serious amount of homework I still have to do tonight, so I might.
It is a 5-1 game. It is a big English test. Kaz, I believe it's over Huckleberry Finn with Miss Smith.
Yes, it is. I may be heading out now to go begin the studying process for that.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure, Kaz. Let's see, just remember, in about chapter 8 it is, there's the floating house. It's the frame of a house, and Jim and Huck go inside, and Jim actually finds the body of who they believe to be Huck's father, dead inside the floating house. But Jim actually does not tell Huck about it because he feels bad. But Jim later reveals it later in the book.
So this is on chapters 17 to 35. So
okay.
Right. Although that is very helpful to know, that will not be relevant here.
Okay. Here is Morgan along the back wall. Shot over the net by Alex Leet. Palmer up ice here. Nice move by Morgan into the zone. Sampson off the boards. Shoemaker will leave it off for Boba. Centering pass, shot, save made by the shin of Sampson. And Shoemaker on the ground somehow makes the save again. Later, Kaz. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. One last shout out to everybody who worked here tonight and to Singer Domingo Sportside Real Estate Group for sponsoring our scoreboard. We had a ton of people on the crew tonight cycling through for both games.
Shoemaker again on his back. The puck somehow stays out of the back of the net. Just flailing in the blue paint. And it is no goal. Just a flurry of impressive saves from the junior goaltender, Michael Shoemaker. Patterson goes over to congratulate him. Here's a shot, save again by Shoemaker, using his leg pad that time as opposed to his back. Morgan will leave it off, but turned over, at least for the moment. Kittinger trying to get at it. With the puck is LaValle up ice. Callahan will knock it to himself. Sam Jansen on the ice for the first time for the Dragons. The freshman from Brunswick. You can find him on Instagram at Sam Jansen Photography. He does take sports photos. Actually, guys, this is the defensive pairing of sports photography. Ethan Patterson himself has BHS on film on Instagram where he takes sports photos. So Jansen and Patterson together, really the sports photography defensive pairing. Isn't that right, guys? You guys can say something. Kaz is gone, but Asher, you can speak.
Yes, you are right, Robert.
Thank you, Asher. This will be Clark against Copeland. This is Carter Copeland's first time on the ice tonight, as well as Sam Anasio and Ryan Nile, a fourth line of forwards for the Dragons. Patterson will rocket it over the net. Hits the back glass. Off the boards here. Up ice for Clark. Patterson knocks it down again and stopped by Morgan. That is very interesting to not see Carter Copeland until now. But Copeland will collect, and he gets blown up by Connor Callahan. That is CC on CC violence. Carter Copeland getting hit by Connor Callahan. Copeland will bat it up the ice. Back here to Cony. Puck left off to Chase Callahan. He'll leave it off to Clark. Clark has space, and it'll be gloved by Shoemaker. 5-1 lead still here for Cony, as you can tell, thanks to our Singer Mingo Portside Real Estate sponsored scoreboard, managed by Asher Fouchée. Dorsey will lose this face-off and a chance for Randall behind the net. Randall will survey, Shoemaker trying to find it. Will bank it off the boards, looking for Vayu. And now Bodich will clear, it gets deflected, and maybe a chance for Palmer. He knocks it up. Dorsey chasing after it as he will wrestle to the ground. Alex Leet, or sorry, that is Fogg, at 6 and 8 in red, looking similar. Of course, Leet does wear the C on his chest as a captain. Drew Wilson on the ice for the first time for the Dragons, that sophomore defenseman. Dorsey knocks it down, and a chance for Palmer as Fogg fell down. Dorsey back here to Palmer. Had space, but Palmer couldn't handle it. Palmer will fire. Open it. Sampson will fan on the slap shot attempt. Bodich has Palmer open the middle. Tries to get it to him. Drew Wilson settles now. He'll rocket towards Palmer. Palmer open. Couldn't make the shot. Wilson, he's open now. Fires again. Blocker save made by Morgan. And the Dragons are getting some great looks on offense. Unable to cash in, at least for now, but Dorsey looking for another good look. He'll fire. Hits the outside of the netting and into the Dragon student section. Bodich, though, another chance. High slot, he's open. And a chance for Palmer. Hits the crossbar. Able to beat Morgan, but not the iron. A flurry of offensive chances, but nothing to show for it. Doesn't even count as a shot on goal for Jamison Palmer, as it does hit the crossbar instead of the goaltender. But just some great looks for Brunswick Freeport. They send on that third line of forwards, Lyons, Landry, and Easton. Patterson and Boak on defense. I believe Boak has to study for that same English test that Kaz left for, but it seems that Boak is staying in the building. Patterson will put the big hit on Morgan, and 2-on-1 as Leet is open. Patterson with a great job to get back on defense, and he lays out Alex Leet. Wow, what speed from the captain to get back, shut down the 2-on-1, and lay out Alex Leet. Shoemaker with the save. How about that? Patterson way behind the play to get back on defense and make that hit. That is some great hockey. Here's a shot. Save made. Defensive zone with the puck is Gabe Godbout, as Leet will be taken down again, this time by Heaston. LePage is open though, high circle, he'll fire. Hits off the glove of Shoemaker. Heaston. And now Patterson collects. Hits off a Cony stick. And will roll into the defensive zone. Morgan comes out. Lyons towards the net, into the corner. Copeland skating hard after the puck. Back to that fourth line of forwards for Brunswick. Here is Anasio putting pressure on. Ryan Nile will collect in the neutral zone, gives it back to Sampson. Sampson up ice. And collected once again by Murphy. Here is Anasio. Sampson off the boards. Anasio. Turn back over here with LePage. Niall gets it back for the Dragons. Just a lot of back and forth neutral zone play now. That'll be caught by Callahan way across. Gets through for an icing. The Dragons will get the offensive zone faceoff.
Brunswick has seemed to have a bit of more of a spark here coming into the third period, but will they be able to get one back?
Here is Bobuff in the neutral zone, has it stolen by Jackson Wing, hit by Sampson. A great job by Sampson to win that puck. And now here's Callahan, centers it, one-touch pass back to Wing, couldn't handle it. Palmer up ice, hits off of Bowditch. Now Bowditch will put pressure on, but Cony able to get it back here. Callahan hits off of Clark's blade and into the Dragon defensive zone. Bobuff will wind up and get knocked in the boards by Wing. Bobuff puts a little bump on Wing after that play. D to D here with Callahan once again. All three of his teammates will wait for him to get into the zone to avoid the offside. Here's Dorsey. Oh my goodness! Callahan was winding up to put a hit on Dorsey. Dorsey makes a little juke move, and Callahan throws himself into the Dragon board. I can't say that I've seen that one before, folks. Wow. That is wild. Just a little fancy juke move to just send Callahan into the boards. That's just amazing. Up ice, though. I can't find the clip, Asher. If you want to find it, that's just hilarious. Patterson will get it to himself. A chance into the zone. Ethan Patterson, he'll look to fire. And it is blocked. And a painful block it was. Rebound attempt again, saved by Morgan. Patterson gets back. Another chance. High slot. He'll look to fire and score. Ethan Patterson makes it 5-2. A flurry of shots, and he finally breaks through. Ethan Patterson, for those watching from Cony, is the best player for the Dragons. While Evan Dorsey is the best forward, Patterson is the best defender and also the best offensive player. And he showed it there. Just a whole bunch of great shots, and he finally beat Morgan on the ice on his glove side. Just a great shot. That's Patterson's second point of the contest. We believe that move that Dorsey put on Callahan happened off camera, which is quite sad, because what a savvy play that was. You'll just have to believe me. But a nice shot there by Patterson to make it 5-2. Here's a chance for Niall, and now Copeland. This is crazy. This is the same score that the Dragons lost to Cape Elizabeth to. And that Cape Elizabeth team, or I can say this Cony team, is significantly better than that Cape Elizabeth team. So just wild. Sport of hockey, any given day. If the Dragons played as well against Cape Elizabeth as they did today, they would definitely have won that game. Patterson again will fire, and it's gloved by Morgan. I can tell that Patterson is going to be incredibly tired after this game. He is working very hard. Wilson and Sampson, the defensive pairing for the Dragons, as well as Dorsey, Palmer, and Bowditch for the forwards. Open up ice is LePage. Can Sampson get back on defense? He can. LePage will spin back. So does Sampson. Will drop it off now to Leet. Back up top. LePage is open. He'll fire it over the net. Hits the back wall. Here's Leet. Leet will serve a centering pass and a beautiful one-timer goal by LePage. Leet to LePage. What a pass, what a shot. Shoemaker had no chance going pipe to pipe there. That's just a beautiful bit of hockey. We've seen that connection. That line of forwards between Leet, LePage, and it's been Morgan playing with them as well, is just so dangerous. Leet, LePage, Morgan. Might be the best forward line in the whole state. You never do know. Clark is obviously very good as well. Here's Dorsey. Has it stolen by Murphy. LePage leaves it off. Here's a shot down the middle for Leet. He'll fire. It's blocked by the face mask of Shoemaker. And Dorsey will look to clear. Fires it towards Bowditch. Here's a shot. Leg pad save by Shoemaker. Dorsey will give it to Wilson. Nice bank pass to Sampson. Sampson looking up ice. Nice pass to Bowditch, but it's broken up. But Dorsey gets it back here for the Dragons. He'll put it into the corner and will skate off. They'll send out that third line of forwards. Across here, Landry puts pressure on Morgan. Morgan back, and Clark will run some clock into the 4-minute offense, as the Cony football team was many times this season. They went undefeated until they lost to Westbrook in the Class B championship. That is a high stick, and Cony was the first team to touch it. So that is an offensive zone face-off for Brunswick Freeport. Just a minute and 8 seconds left to go here in this one. It's been a really fun game of hockey. Probably the most entertaining 6-2 hockey game I've seen, actually. Usually I'd consider that blowout territory, but this is just great. Great stuff. That will be an immediate icing. You can see there Jackson Wing immediately release up ice and try to catch up to that puck and could not. Landry to take the draw up against Cooper Clark. Clark will win it. And rifling again towards the boards, but instead hit off of Easton's. Clark racing for it. Ned Boak will stop that attempt. Clark gets it back though, and will try to do that cross crease pass, and he does, but fanning on the bouncing puck was Jackson Wing. That's a really tough play. Here's a shot blocked by the captain, Ethan Patterson. Callahan will fire and wide. Collision along the boards there as Houston will fall, hitting Wing. Lions tried to clear it. Landry now cuts back, and a 2-on-2, maybe a 3-on-2 on-man rush. Shot by Landry over the net. A rebound, though, for Lions. Turned back over to Callahan. Will be stopped by the poke check of Boken. Patterson will collect here with just 10 seconds left. And Patterson will get hit hard against the boards by Cooper Clark. And Patterson goes right back after Clark. Clark with the shove on Patterson after the play. One more shove, and that'll do it. A fantastic game of hockey here on Brunswick High Sports Network. Cony does win 6-2. We will award our stars. For my first star, I'm going to have to give that straight to that whole first line of, I think they skated actually as the second line, but really was the first line for Cony. Just played great. Between LePage, Leet, and Morgan, they just all played great. I guess LePage is the only one with 2 points and a goal and an assist, so he is going to be my first star. But really, that just whole line for Cony was the star of the show today. LePage being, of course, Kyle LePage. Asher, go ahead and give me your second star of this game.
Of course, the whole Cony line was pretty powerful, but I guess I'll go with my boy Ethan Patterson. I mean, a goal, and he's just a great player, so I'll have to give it to him.
2 points for the captain, a goal and an assist, but really his effort on defense, I thought, was the star of the show for the Dragons. He had that beautiful hit on the 2-on-1 to get back and knock down Alex Leet. That really was a fantastic play from Ethan Patterson. And then Shoemaker had a really great game, made a lot of great saves in that for the Dragons, but did still allow 6 goals, so I'm going to give my third star to number 3 in red, Chase Callahan, who scored twice. A freshman from Cony, he played great, as well right on that same line as his brother, as I do assume. I did get a chance to play lacrosse with my brother back in the day. It's a special thing to play a varsity sport with your sibling. Did you ever play with Lane?
Unfortunately, we never overlapped.
Oh,
but
no, yeah,
there were
he's
some
pretty
young days where I would throw around with him a bit. So.
That's good. Well, good to see that. Again, I'm just assuming they both go to Cony. They both are Callahan, and they're 2 years apart. They got to be brothers. So that's a special, special family. Well, we thank you all for joining us here in Brunswick High Sports Network. 6-2 win for the Rams of Cony, Erskine Academy, Halldale, Maranacook, Monmouth, Spruce Mountain, and Winthrop. We'll see you back here tomorrow for boys basketball at 5 o'clock. Brandon Ware on the camera, Robert Bowen and Kosinski on the microphone, and Ashley Fouchée on our scoreboard, sponsored by Singer Domingo Portside Real Estate.